Hello everyone, welcome to Hayes Secret Tales. Please enjoy this video.
Darius's hands shake as he puts his parents on speakerphone. His mother's voice fills our living room, warm and unsuspecting. I'm sitting beside him for support, watching this 6'2" basketball coach who's never been afraid of anything look absolutely terrified. He takes a breath. Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something. There's someone I'm dating. It's serious. His voice cracks. And it's a guy. The silence that follows feels like it lasts forever. His father's voice comes through, harder to read than his mother's. A guy. You're dating a man. Darius's hand finds mine under the table, squeezing so hard it hurts. His entire future with his family hangs in the balance. One wrong word and everything could shatter. Yeah, Dad, his name is Nate, and I love him. If you want to hear uncensored, too hot for YouTube stories, check out my Patreon in the description. Tell us where you're watching from and subscribe. 3 months earlier, I was scrolling through roommate listings at midnight, getting desperate. My lease was ending in 2 weeks, and San Francisco rents were eating me alive on my graphic designer salary. Most ads wanted first, last, and security deposits that would drain my savings. Then I saw it. Room available immediately. Hate district. Reasonable rent. One roommate, clean, respectful, works weird hours so we probably won't see each other much. The last line made me laugh. Won't see each other much. That was exactly what I needed. My last roommate situation had imploded when my ex decided our breakup meant I had to move out of the apartment we'd shared. 6 months later, I was still raw about it, still not ready for forced small talk over coffee, or pretending to care about someone else's day. I messaged the poster, got a response within an hour. Can you come see it tomorrow? The apartment was a 3rd-floor walk-up in a Victorian that had been converted decades ago. The neighborhood was perfect, walking distance to the park and about 1 million coffee shops. I climbed the stairs and knocked, trying not to let my hopes get too high. The door opened and my brain short-circuited. The guy standing there was tall, maybe 6'2", with dark skin that caught the hallway light like bronze. He wore basketball shorts and a tank top that showed arms built from actual work, not just gym sessions. His hair was cut close, neat, and when he smiled, I forgot how to form words. Nate? His voice was deep, warm like whiskey. I'm Darius, come on in. I followed him inside, trying very hard not to stare at the way his shoulders moved. The apartment was clean, decorated minimally, but with good taste. Hardwood floors, high ceilings, big windows letting in afternoon light. The room for rent was smaller than my current one, but had its own closet and faced the quiet side of the building. It's perfect, I said, probably too quickly. When can I move in? Darius leaned against the door frame, studying me with dark eyes that made my skin feel too tight. You haven't even asked about house rules or anything. Do you throw wild parties? Do you leave rotting food in the sink? Do you have a girlfriend who will basically live here rent-free? He laughed, and the sound did things to my chest that were absolutely inappropriate for a potential roommate. No to all 3. I work at a community center, coaching basketball and running after-school programs. Gone most evenings and weekends. I clean up after myself. And no girlfriend. Then we're good. I can pay first month and deposit now if you want. Something shifted in his expression, like he was trying to figure me out. You're not going to ask if I'm cool with you being gay? My stomach dropped. I hadn't mentioned it in my message, but my social media wasn't exactly subtle. How did you know? Your Instagram. You posted it as a reference, remember? He shrugged. Wanted to make sure you knew I saw it and didn't care. Some guys freak out about having a gay roommate. And you don't? Darius met my eyes steadily. I don't care who you sleep with as long as you're respectful about it. This is your home too. You deserve to be comfortable here. The casual acceptance made my throat tight. My last landlord had suggested I might want to be discreet about my lifestyle. I moved in 2 days later. The first month was exactly what the ad promised. We barely saw each other. Darius left early for work and came home late. I worked from home most days, designing websites and logos for clients, only going into the office twice a week. We'd pass in the kitchen sometimes, exchange polite greetings, comment on the weather. It was perfect, easy, uncomplicated. Then Darius started coming home earlier. I was working at the kitchen table one Wednesday when he walked in around 6, earlier than usual. He stopped when he saw me, surprise crossing his face. "You're still up," he said, "working on a deadline. Client wants revisions by tomorrow." I gestured at my laptop screen showing a logo design. "What do you think? Too much?" He crossed the kitchen to look, standing close enough that I could smell his deodorant and something else. Something warm and clean. After a moment, he pointed at the screen. The font's fighting with the image. "Maybe try something simpler?" I made the change. He was right. It looked better immediately. "You've got a good eye," I said. Darius shrugged, but I caught the pleased expression before he hit it. I noticed things. Part of working with kids, you learn to see what's not quite working. After that, he started stopping to look at whatever I was working on when he came home. Started asking questions about design theory and color psychology. Started staying in the kitchen longer, making dinner while I worked. The companionable silence broken only by the sounds of cooking and typing. A month in, he asked if I wanted to watch the Warriors game with him. "I don't really follow basketball," I admitted. "I'll teach you. It's more fun when you understand what's happening." So I sat on our couch, maintaining careful distance, while Darius explained plays and fouls and why that ref was clearly blind. His enthusiasm was infectious. I found myself getting caught up in it, asking questions, laughing when he yelled at the TV. During halftime, he asked about my work, really asked, not just polite small talk. Wanted to know how I got into design, what I loved about it, what frustrated me. I found myself telling him things I rarely shared, about how I saw the world in shapes and colors, about the satisfaction of solving visual problems. "What made you want to coach?" I asked. Darius was quiet for a moment. "I grew up in Oakland, rough neighborhood. Not a lot of options for kids who didn't want to get caught up in street stuff. Basketball gave me something else to focus on. A coach who gave a damn probably saved my life. I want to be that for other kids." The raw honesty in his voice made my chest ache. "That's beautiful." He looked at me, something unreadable in his dark eyes. "Yeah, it is." The game came back on. We watched in silence. But something had shifted. The distance between us on the couch felt more deliberate, more necessary, because I was starting to notice things I shouldn't notice about my straight roommate. The way his hands moved when he talked. The way his laugh started deep in his chest. The way he'd absently rub the back of his neck when he was thinking. The way his tank top showed the definition in his arms and the smooth expanse of his shoulders. I was in trouble. 2 months in, Darius started inviting me to things. Coffee on Saturday mornings, farmers market runs, a pickup basketball game where I embarrassed myself thoroughly, but he just laughed and showed me how to shoot properly, his hands adjusting my form, his body close enough to make my pulse race. We fell into a rhythm, easy friendship, inside jokes, comfortable silences. He'd cook, I'd clean. I'd proof his emails to parents. He'd give feedback on my designs. We'd watch games and movies and cooking shows, gradually sitting closer on the couch until our shoulders touched and neither of us moved away. My friends noticed, started making comments, teasing me about my straight crush. I denied it. Insisted we were just roommates, just friends. But alone at night, I'd lie in bed listening to him move around in the next room and want things I had no right to want. 3 months in, everything changed. It started with beers. Darius had a good day at work. One of his kids got accepted to a college prep program, and he wanted to celebrate. We ordered pizza, cracked open a six-pack, sat on the couch talking and laughing. 1 beer became 2, became 3. I was pleasantly buzzed, warm and loose, when Darius asked the question that shifted everything. Why'd you and your ex break up? I'd mentioned the breakup in passing but never given details. The beer loosened my tongue. He wanted me to be someone I'm not. Wanted me quieter, less obvious. Said my being out was embarrassing for his career. That's bullshit, Darius said fiercely. You're not embarrassing. You're just yourself. The casual defense made warmth bloom in my chest. Yeah, well, he didn't see it that way. His loss. Darius took another drink, his eyes on mine. Anyone who can't appreciate you exactly as you are doesn't deserve you. The words hung between us, weighted with something I couldn't name. The air felt thicker suddenly, charged. I should have changed the subject. Should have laughed it off. Should have done anything except hold his gaze and let him see what I was feeling. Nate, he said quietly, and there was a question in it, or maybe a warning. Yeah, I need to tell you something. My heart hammered. Okay. He set down his beer, turned to face me fully. I've been trying not to notice. Notice what? You. The way you look when you're concentrating on a design. The way you laugh at my terrible jokes. The way you smell like coffee and something else I can't figure out. I've been trying real hard not to notice because I don't do this. Darius. My voice came out rough. I'm not gay. I've never been with a guy. Never even thought about it before. But then you moved in, and I can't stop thinking about it. About you. And I don't know what to do with that. The confession hung between us. 3 feet of couch that felt like an ocean. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't do anything except stare at this beautiful man who was telling me he noticed me too. What do you want to do? I asked. His eyes dropped to my mouth. I want to find out if I'm losing my mind or if this is real. Then find out. He moved. Or maybe I did. Suddenly the distance was gone and his hand was on my face and his mouth was on mine. The kiss was tentative at first, questioning, like he was still deciding. Then something shifted and he was kissing me for real, deep and hungry and desperate. I opened for him, let him explore, let him take what he needed. His other hand found my waist, pulled me closer. I went willingly, climbing into his lap, my hands in his hair, my heart trying to break through my ribs. He tasted like beer and want, kissed like he'd been starving for it. His hands were everywhere, learning me, mapping me, pulling sounds from my throat that I couldn't control. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, his eyes were dark and unfocused. I don't know what I'm doing, he admitted against my mouth. You're doing fine. We kissed again, slower this time, building heat. His hands slid under my shirt, spreading across my back, and I arched into the touch. Everything in me was screaming, yes, finally, please. But some part of my brain was still functioning. Darius, are you sure? Because if we do this and you regret it tomorrow, I don't know if I can handle that. He pulled back enough to meet my eyes. I'm not sure about anything except that I want you right now. Is that enough? It should have been a red flag. Should have made me stop. But I was 24 and had been wanting him for months, and he was looking at me like I was everything he'd ever needed. So I kissed him again and told myself it would be enough. We moved to his room, fell onto his bed in a tangle of limbs and desperate hands. He let me lead. Let me show him what felt good, followed every instruction with an eagerness that made me dizzy. When I finally got my mouth on him, he made sounds that I wanted to record and play back forever. Afterwards, we lay tangled together, sweaty and breathing hard. His arm was around me, my head on his chest, his heart beat loud under my ear. For a perfect moment, everything felt right. Complete. Then he tensed. "I need to process this," he said quietly. "Okay, I don't know what this means. What I am. You don't have to figure it all out tonight." He was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Can we just sleep? Deal with everything tomorrow?" "Yeah, of course." But when I woke up, he was gone. Not just out of bed. Gone from the apartment. A text on my phone said he needed some space to think. That was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks of passing each other in careful silence. Of him leaving before I woke up and coming home after I'd gone to bed. Of the easy friendship we'd built crumbling into awkward avoidance. 3 weeks of me trying to convince myself I hadn't just ruined the best living situation I'd ever had. 3 weeks of missing him so much it physically hurt. Now at 2 in the morning, his text glows on my phone. "I'm not gay, but I haven't stopped thinking about you since that night." My hands shake as I type back. "We should talk." The 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Finally, "Can I come to your room?" Yes. 60 seconds later, there's a soft knock. I open the door and there he is, wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, looking like he hasn't slept in days. His eyes meet mine, vulnerable in a way I've never seen. "I'm sorry," he says, "for avoiding you, for being a coward, for making this weird. Come in." He steps inside and I close the door. We stand there in the dim light from my desk lamp, 2 feet apart, the air between us crackling with everything unsaid. "I've been thinking about what happened," he starts, "about what it means, about what I am. And I still don't have all the answers. I've dated women my whole life. I've never questioned it. Then you moved in and turned everything sideways. Darius, let me finish, please." He runs a hand over his head, a gesture I recognize as nervousness. "I don't know if I'm gay or bi or if it's just you. I don't know how to label what I'm feeling. But I know that avoiding you these past weeks has been torture. I know that I miss you, miss talking to you, being around you, miss everything we had before that night. What are you saying?" "I'm saying I want to try, to figure this out, together. If you're willing to be patient with me while I get my head straight." He pauses. Poor choice of words. Despite everything, I almost smile. "I've liked you since the day I moved in. I've been wanting you for months, but I need to know this isn't just confusion or experimentation. I need to know you're serious about trying." He steps closer. I'm terrified. I don't know what I'm doing. But I haven't been able to stop thinking about kissing you again, about touching you, about what it felt like to have you in my arms. That's gotta mean something. It means you're attracted to me. It doesn't tell me what happens next. What happens next is we take it slow. We figure it out as we go. We communicate instead of me running away like a scared kid. He reaches out tentatively, his hand hovering near mine. I want to try, Nate. For real this time. I let him take my hand. His palm is warm, slightly rough. Our fingers interlace like they've done it 1,000 times. And what if you decide it was just curiosity? What if you wake up one day and realize you're straight after all? Then I'll tell you, honestly. But right now, the only thing I'm sure of is that I want you. Not some hypothetical future version of me. Not the guy I thought I was supposed to be. Me, right now, wanting you. The raw honesty in his voice breaks something open in my chest. Okay. Okay? Okay, we can try. But Darius, I need you to understand something. I'm already halfway in love with you. Have been for weeks. So if we do this and you decide it's not for you, it's going to wreck me. I need you to be sure. His hand tightens on mine. I can't promise I won't mess up. Can't promise I'll have all the answers. But I can promise I'll try. That I'll be honest with you. that I won't disappear again. That's enough. For now, he smiles, tentative but real, and pulls me closer. Can I kiss you? Please. This kiss is different from the first one. Softer, less desperate, more intentional. He takes his time, learning the shape of my mouth, the taste of me. His hands cup my face like I'm something precious, something worth savoring. When we break apart, we're both breathing harder. I've missed this, he murmurs against my lips. Missed you? 3 weeks is a long time. Never doing that again. Never avoiding you like that. Even if I get scared, we talk about it. Promise. I'll hold you to that. We stand there, foreheads pressed together, breathing each other's air. Outside, San Francisco sleeps. Inside this room, everything is changing again. But this time, maybe we're both ready for it. Tell me what you've been thinking about, I say. These past 3 weeks, what specifically kept you up at night? His eyes darken. You want the truth? Always. Remembering how you sounded when I touched you, how you tasted, the way you looked at me like I was giving you everything you needed. He pauses. I'd be at work, coaching kids, and suddenly I'd remember the way you said my name, and I'd lose my train of thought completely. The admission sends heat through my body. What else? Wondering what it would be like to do it again. Slower this time, without the beer, without the desperation. Just us, taking our time, figuring out what works. We could do that now. He pulls back slightly, searching my face. You sure? I don't want to rush you. Darius, I've been ready since the night you moved your stuff into this apartment. Take me to bed. His room or yours? Yours. I like your bed better. He grins, some of the tension leaving his shoulders, and laces his fingers through mine. Then let's go. We cross the few feet between our bedrooms. His room is neat as always, smelling like the cedar wood cologne he wears. He closes the door behind us, and suddenly we're here again, standing at the edge of something that could ruin us or save us. I'm nervous, he admits, like it's the first time again. It kind of is. The first time was about finding out if the attraction was real. This time is about choosing it, choosing each other. He nods slowly. Yeah, that's exactly it. Come here. He comes. Lets me pull him close. Lets me kiss him slow and sweet. Lets me unravel the tension in his shoulders with gentle hands. We take our time this round, learning each other again. His hands map my body like he's memorizing it. Mine explore the planes of his back, the strength in his arms, the vulnerable hollow of his throat. When we finally make it to the bed, skin against skin, heat against heat, it's everything the first time was and more. He's less uncertain this time, more willing to ask for what he wants, to guide my hands where he needs them. And when he finally lets go, my name on his lips like a prayer, I know we've crossed a line we can't uncross. After, he pulls me close, refusing to let me move to my own bed. Stay, he murmurs against my hair. Please stay. I'm not going anywhere. We fall asleep tangled together, and for the first time in 3 weeks, I sleep without that ache in my chest. Morning comes with sunlight through his window and the warm weight of his arm across my waist. I wake slowly, savoring the feeling of being held, being wanted. When I turn my head, I find him already awake, watching me with an expression I can't quite read. Hi, I say. Hi. He brushes a kiss against my shoulder. Sleep okay? Better than I have in weeks. He's quiet for a moment, his fingers tracing patterns on my hip. I need to tell you something. My stomach clenches. Okay. When I was avoiding you, it wasn't because I regretted what happened. It was because I didn't regret it, and that scared the hell out of me. I turned to face him fully. Why? because it meant everything I thought I knew about myself was wrong. I'm 25 years old. I've dated women since high school. My family assumes I'll settle down with a nice girl, give them grandkids eventually. And then one night with you flipped my entire world upside down. The vulnerability in his voice makes my heart ache. I'm sorry, don't be. He cups my face, his thumb stroking my cheek. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just yourself, and that was enough to make me question everything. That's not your fault. So what now? Now I figure out how to tell my family, how to be honest with them about who I'm dating. The word dating sends warmth through my chest. Is that what we're doing? If you're willing to put up with me while I figure all this out, yeah, I want to date you, for real. Not just hooking up or keeping it quiet. I want to take you out, hold your hand in public, introduce you as my boyfriend. Boyfriend. The word feels momentous. Are you sure? Because coming out is huge, Darius. You don't have to rush it. I'm not rushing. I'm being honest about what I want. And I want you. He pauses. I'm probably going to screw this up sometimes. Say the wrong thing, move too fast or too slow. But I want to try. Then we'll try together. We spend the morning in bed, talking about everything we've been holding back. He tells me about his fears, his confusion, his worry about disappointing his family. I tell him about my own coming out story, about the friends I lost and the ones who stayed, about learning to be proud of who I am. Around noon, our stomachs demand food. We migrate to the kitchen, and Darius makes pancakes while I sit at the counter watching him move around our space. He's shirtless, wearing just the sweatpants from last night, and I let myself look openly now. Let myself appreciate the view without guilt. Stop staring, he says without turning around. I can feel you staring. Can't help it. You're nice to look at. He glances over his shoulder, a smile playing at his lips. Yeah. He plates the pancakes and comes around the counter, boxing me in with his arms on either side of me. Good, because you're nice to look at too. And I plan on doing a lot of looking from now on. The promise in his voice makes heat pool low in my belly. We should eat? We should. But first, he kisses me, slow and thorough, tasting like maple syrup and promise. When he pulls back, we're both breathing harder. Okay. Now we can eat. We take our plates to the couch, falling into the familiar ritual of breakfast and easy conversation. But everything feels different now, better. Every casual touch carries weight. Every shared glance holds meaning. This is what I wanted when he first asked if I wanted to watch the game. This intimacy, this connection, this feeling of being chosen. After breakfast, Darius has to go to work. A Saturday youth program he runs can't be rescheduled. He kisses me at the door, long and sweet, promising to text me throughout the day. I spend the day working on client projects, but my focus is shot. Every time my phone buzzes, my heart jumps. His texts are simple. Miss you already. Can't stop thinking about last night. What do you want for dinner? But they make me smile every single time. Around 6, he texts that he's on his way home. I'm suddenly nervous. What if the daylight brings regrets? What if being apart gave him time to overthink and talk himself out of this? But when he walks through the door, he drops his bag and crosses straight to me, pulling me into a kiss that erases every doubt. Missed you, he says against my mouth. Missed you too, he pulls back, studying my face. You were worried. Little bit. Don't be. I spent all day with kids asking why I was smiling so much. Had to make up some story about getting good news. Couldn't exactly tell them I have an amazing boyfriend who's waiting at home for me. The casual use of boyfriend makes warmth bloom in my chest. How was it? The program? Good. Tiring. But good. He yawns, stretching. I need a shower and food. Not necessarily in that order. I already started dinner. Stir fry, you're perfect. You know that? I'm really not. To me you are. He steals another kiss. Shower first, then I'll help you finish cooking. While he's in the bathroom, I finish the stir fry, set the table, try to calm my racing heart. This is real. This is happening. Darius is choosing me, choosing us, choosing to figure out who he is instead of running from it. He emerges from the shower in clean clothes, his hair damp, smelling like his cedar soap. We eat dinner together, talking about our days, falling into easy rhythm. After we clean up together, and then he pulls me to the couch. Can we talk about something? He asks. Always. I want to tell my best friend, Marcus. We've been boys since elementary school. He's going to have questions, probably going to be surprised, but I need to tell someone. Start being honest about this. The fact that he wants to tell people, wants to be open about us, makes my throat tight. Of course. Whatever you need. He pulls out his phone, stares at it for a moment, then starts typing. I watch his face as he composes the message, see the moment he hits send, see the nervous energy that follows. What did you say? That I'm dating someone, that it's serious, that it's a guy. He looks at me, that his name is Nate and he's amazing. His phone buzzes almost immediately. Darius reads the message and laughs. What? Marcus says, and I quote, about damn time you figured yourself out. Also, he wants to meet you. Wait, he's not surprised? Apparently, I've been talking about my roommate a suspicious amount for the past few months. He's been waiting for me to connect the dots. I can't help but smile. So he's cool with it? Says he just wants me to be happy. And that if you hurt me, he knows where you live. Fair. Darius sets his phone aside and pulls me closer. One down. Family will be harder. We don't have to rush that. I know. But I also don't want to hide you. Don't want to pretend we're just roommates when we visit or when they ask about my life. You're important to me. I want them to know that. The words settle warm in my chest. We'll figure it out. Together. Together, he agrees, and kisses me like it's a vow. The next few weeks are a blur of discovery. We learn how to be together, how to navigate the shift from roommates to boyfriends. Some things are easy. The physical affection, the casual touches, the way we gravitate toward each other without thinking. Other things take work. Learning to communicate when something bothers us, instead of letting it fester. Learning each other's rhythms and needs. Learning how to be partners, instead of just two people sharing space. Darius throws himself into research, reading articles about sexuality and coming out, joining online forums for late bloomers, trying to understand himself better. Sometimes he shares what he's learning with me. Other times he needs to process alone. I learn to give him space while making sure he knows I'm there when he needs me. His friend Marcus comes over for dinner one Friday, and I'm more nervous than I've been for anything in years. This is Darius's oldest friend, someone whose opinion matters. If Marcus doesn't approve, it could complicate everything. But Marcus walks in, takes one look at how Darius and I orbit each other, and grins. Yeah, you got it bad, he says to Darius. Both of you? Is it that obvious? Darius asks. You're smiling at him like he hung the moon. So yeah, pretty obvious. Dinner is easier after that. Marcus tells embarrassing childhood stories that make Darius groan and me laugh until my sides hurt. He asks me about my work, my family, my intentions with his best friend. The last question is serious despite the light tone. I care about him, I say honestly. And I know this is new territory for him. I'm not going to rush him or push him. We're figuring it out together. Marcus studies me for a moment, then nods. Good. He deserves someone who gets that. After Marcus leaves, Darius pulls me into his arms. Thank you, he murmurs. For what? for being patient with me, for understanding that I'm still figuring this out, for being you. I kiss him softly, always. A month into officially dating, Darius decides he's ready to tell his family. We spend a week planning what he'll say, how he'll say it, preparing for different reactions. The night before the call, he's so nervous he can barely eat dinner. "What if they reject me?" he asks quietly. "What if they say I'm not welcome anymore? Then we'll deal with it. Together." "But Darius, from everything you've told me about them, they love you. They might need time to adjust, but they love you." "I hope you're right." The next evening, he makes the call on speakerphone with me sitting next to him for support. His mom answers, her voice warm and familiar. "Hey baby, how are you?" "Hi Mom, is Dad there? I need to talk to you both about something." There's rustling, then his father's deeper voice. "We're both here." "What's going on? Everything okay?" "Everything's fine." Better than fine, actually. "I just have something important to tell you." He takes a deep breath, his hand finding mine. "I'm dating someone. It's serious. And it's a guy." The silence that follows feels endless. Then his mother speaks, her voice careful. "A guy. You're dating a man." "Yeah. His name is Nate. He's my roommate. We've been together for about a month now, but I've had feelings for him longer than that." "I see." His father's voice is harder to read. "And you're sure about this? About him?" "I'm sure. He makes me happy, Dad. Happier than I've been in a long time." There's another pause. Then his mother asks, "Can we meet him?" Darius's hand tightens on mine. Yeah, I'd like that." We continue talking for another 30 minutes. His parents have questions, lots of them, but they're trying to understand, trying to adjust, trying to show they still love their son, even if this isn't what they expected. By the time the call ends, Darius is exhausted but relieved. "That went better than I thought," he admits. "They love you." That was clear. He pulls me into his arms, burying his face in my neck. "Thank you for being here, for holding my hand through this." I kiss his temple. Always. 2 weeks later, we make the drive to Oakland to meet his family. I'm nervous enough that my hands shake as we park outside his childhood home. Darius notices and brings my hand to his lips. "They're going to love you," he promises. "You don't know that. I know you. That's enough." His parents are waiting on the porch. His mom is petite with kind eyes and a smile that reminds me of Darius. His father is tall and broad, intimidating until he smiles. They welcome me warmly, if a bit awkwardly, and we spend the afternoon talking over homemade lunch. It's not perfect. There are moments of tension, questions that probe a bit too much, silences that last too long. But there's also laughter and warmth and genuine effort to make me feel included. By the time we leave, his mom hugs me and tells me to take care of her boy. In the car, Darius is quiet. I give him space to process, keeping one hand on his knee. Finally, he speaks. "They really tried. They did. I was so scared they'd reject me, reject us. But they tried. That's all we can ask for. The rest will come with time." He brings my hand to his lips again. "I love you." The words stop my heart. We haven't said them yet, have been carefully dancing around them. But now they're out there, real and raw and perfect. "I love you too." He pulls over at a viewpoint overlooking the bay and kisses me until we're both breathless. When we finally break apart, the sun is setting, painting the water gold and pink. "Move into my room," he says suddenly. "Officially. We don't need 2 bedrooms anymore." "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything. I want to wake up next to you every morning. Want this to be our space, not just mine. Want to build a life with you, Nate." Tears prick my eyes. Yes. Yeah. I want that too. We drive home holding hands, making plans for how to rearrange furniture, what to do with my old room, How to make the space feel like ours instead of his. It's domestic and perfect and everything I didn't know I needed. That night we make love in what's now officially our bed, and it feels like a new beginning. Like we're writing our own story instead of following someone else's script. 3 months into our relationship, Darius takes me to meet his basketball kids. It's a Saturday afternoon program, and I sit in the bleachers watching him coach. He's brilliant with them, patient and encouraging, pushing them to be better while making sure they know he believes in them. During a water break, he jogs over to me. "Having fun. You're really good at this." He grins. "Thanks. It matters, you know? Being there for them. Showing them someone gives a damn. You're changing lives. Trying to." He glances back at the court where the kids are starting to goof around. I should get back before they kill each other. Before he can leave, I catch his hand. "Hey, I'm proud of you. For this. For us. For being brave enough to be honest about who you are." His expression softens. "Couldn't have done it without you." "Yes, you could have. But I'm glad I got to be part of it." He kisses me quickly, not caring that some of the kids might see, then jogs back to the court. One of the older boys, maybe 16, catches my eye and grins. "That your boyfriend, coach's friend?" Darius handles it smoothly. "That's Nate. And yeah, he's my boyfriend. Problem with that?" The kid shrugs. "Nah, coach. Just didn't know you were into dudes." "Now you do. We moving on, or you want to discuss my love life instead of running drills?" The kids laugh and get back to practice, but I see the way Darius's shoulders relax, the way he stands a little taller. Each time he claims me publicly, claims us, he gets more comfortable in his own skin. After practice, we grab dinner at a little Thai place near the apartment. Over pad Thai and spring rolls, Darius tells me about the kids, about their progress, about his plans for a summer tournament. "I love watching you talk about them," I say. "You light up. They're good kids. Just need someone to believe in them." He pauses. "Like you believed in me." "I believed in us." He reaches across the table for my hand. "Best decision I ever made. Texting you at 2 in the morning instead of lying there overthinking. Best decision I ever made was opening that message." We finish dinner and walk home through the warm spring evening, hands linked, comfortable in the silence. Back at the apartment, we fall into our nighttime routine. He showers while I clean up from dinner. I'm working on a client design when he emerges, damp from the shower, and wraps his arms around me from behind. "Come to bed," he murmurs against my ear. "I'm almost done with this. It can wait. I want you now." The heat in his voice makes me save my work immediately. He pulls me to our room, and we lose ourselves in each other, in the familiar rhythm we've built, in the trust that lets us be completely vulnerable. After, lying tangled together in the dark, he traces patterns on my bare shoulder. "I've been thinking about moving, getting a bigger place, somewhere that's ours from the beginning. Not just my place that you moved into." The suggestion surprises me. "You want to move?" "Eventually. Not right now, but maybe when your lease is up. Find a place with better light for your workspace, maybe closer to the park. Build something that's ours together." The idea of choosing a home together, of building a life beyond this apartment, makes my heart race. "I'd like that." "Yeah? Yeah. I'd really like that." He kisses me softly. "Good. Because I'm thinking long-term here, Nate. I'm thinking years. I'm thinking future." The confession takes my breath. Me too. We're building something real here. We really are. He holds me closer, and I drift off to sleep, feeling safer and more loved than I've ever felt in my life. This man who thought he was straight, who took a chance on his confusing feelings, who chose honesty over comfort. This man who holds my hand in public and introduces me as his boyfriend. This man who's planning a future with me. I'm not gay, but I haven't stopped thinking about you. That's how this started. A confused text at 2 in the morning from a man struggling to understand himself. But now, months later, lying in his arms in our bed, I know the truth. Labels don't matter as much as love does. Darius might never fully figure out if he's gay or bi or something else entirely, but he knows he loves me, knows he wants to build a life with me, knows that what we have is real and worth fighting for. And that's enough. More than enough. It's everything. 6 months after that 2 a.m. text message, I wake up to find Darius already awake, watching me with an expression I can't quite read. Morning light filters through the curtains of our bedroom, the one we've shared officially for months now, and his hand rests warm on my hip. "What are you thinking about?" I ask, my voice still rough with sleep. He's quiet for a moment, his thumb tracing lazy circles on my skin. How different my life is now compared to a year ago. How I almost missed this because I was too scared to admit what I was feeling. I turned to face him fully, our noses nearly touching. "And now I can't imagine my life without you in it." He pauses. "I've been thinking about something." "Okay, I want to tell my team. At work. Want to be completely open about us. Stop dodging questions about my personal life." The suggestion surprises me. Darius has been gradually coming out, but work has remained separate. "You sure?" "That's a big step." "I'm sure. The director already knows because I put you down as my emergency contact. But the other coaches, the staff, they don't know I'm dating anyone, let alone a guy. And I'm tired of hiding." The determination in his voice makes warmth bloom in my chest. "What brought this on?" "One of the kids asked me yesterday if I had a girlfriend, and I wanted to say no, I have a boyfriend. Wanted to tell them about you, about us. But I chickened out. And I'm done chickening out." I kiss him softly. "I'm proud of you. Come with me to the staff meeting next week. Meet everyone officially. Let me introduce you as my partner." Partner. The word feels significant, weightier than boyfriend. "Yeah, I'd like that. We spend the morning in bed, making love slowly, savoring each touch and kiss. This has become our Sunday ritual, lazy mornings with nowhere to be, no responsibilities except each other. Afterwards, we make breakfast together, moving around the kitchen with the practiced ease of people who've learned each other's rhythms. While Darius cooks eggs, I check my email and find a message that makes my heart jump. It's from a design firm I applied to months ago, one of the top agencies in the city. They want an interview. "Darius," I say, trying to keep the excitement out of my voice. "Remember that job I applied for? The dream job at Morrison Creative?" He turns from the stove, spatula in hand. "Yeah, they want to interview me. Next Thursday." His face lights up and he crosses the kitchen to pull me into a tight hug, lifting me off my feet. "That's amazing. I knew they'd want you. Your portfolio is incredible. It's just an interview. Doesn't mean I'll get it. You'll get it." He sets me down but doesn't let go. "And when you do, we're celebrating big." The interview is on my mind all week. I prepare my portfolio, research the company, practice answering common questions. Darius helps me rehearse, playing the interviewer with surprising skill. The night before, I'm so nervous I can barely eat dinner. "You're going to be perfect," he assures me, his hand warm on my knee under the table. "They'd be stupid not to hire you. What if I freeze up? What if I say something dumb? Then you'll recover and keep going. Because you're talented and smart, and anyone who spends 5 minutes with you can see that." His confidence in me settles some of my nerves. The next morning, he kisses me at the door and makes me promise to text him as soon as the interview is over. The interview goes better than I dared hope. The creative director loves my portfolio, asks insightful questions, tells me they're looking for someone who can bring fresh perspectives to their team. By the time I leave, I'm cautiously optimistic. I text Darius immediately. "Went well. They said they'd let me know by next week." His response comes fast. "Told you. So proud of you." That evening, he takes me to my favorite restaurant to celebrate the interview itself, regardless of outcome. Over wine and pasta, he tells me about his day, about the staff meeting where he plans to introduce me. I talked to the director today, officially. Told her I wanted to bring my partner to next week's meeting. She was completely supportive. What did she say? That it's about time I stopped being so private. Apparently everyone's been curious about my personal life for months. He grins. Marcus told her ages ago that I was dating someone. She's just been waiting for me to say something. The easy acceptance makes me smile. Your work family sounds great. They are. And I want them to know about you, about us. Want them to see how happy you make me. The next week brings both milestones. On Tuesday, I get the call offering me the position at Morrison Creative. The salary is better than I'd hoped. The benefits are excellent, and they want me to start in 2 weeks. I accept on the spot. Darius is at work when I get the news, so I text him. Got the job. His response is immediate. I'm leaving work early. We're celebrating tonight. You don't have to do that. I want to. This is huge, Nate. You just landed your dream job. We're celebrating properly. He comes home with flowers, champagne, and ingredients for my favorite meal. While he cooks, I sit at the counter watching him move around our kitchen, and something swells in my chest so big I can barely breathe around it. I love you, I say suddenly. He looks up, surprised, then smiles that smile that still makes my knees weak. I love you too. He crosses to me, kissing me soft and sweet. I'm so proud of you. You worked so hard for this. Couldn't have done it without your support. Yes, you could have. But I'm glad I got to be here for it. We eat dinner on the couch, too happy to bother with the table, feeding each other bites and laughing over nothing. Later, he makes love to me with a tenderness that brings tears to my eyes, and I know with absolute certainty that this is it. He's it. This is the person I want to build my life with. Thursday brings the staff meeting. I'm nervous in a different way than I was for the interview. This is Darius's world, his colleagues, his second family. I want them to like me, to approve of us. Darius picks up on my anxiety during the drive. You okay? Nervous. Don't be. They're going to love you. And if they don't, that's their problem, not yours. Easy for you to say. He reaches over and takes my hand. Nate, look at me. I look. You're meeting my coworkers, not going before a firing squad. They're good people, and you're amazing. This is going to be fine. The community center is a low brick building with colorful murals painted on the outside. Inside, it smells like floor wax and teenage sweat and hope. Darius leads me through hallways covered in achievement posters and photos of smiling kids, his hand warm in mine. The staff meeting is in a conference room that's seen better days. About a dozen people are already there, ranging from young coaches barely out of college to veterans with gray hair and knowing eyes. Conversation stops when we walk in, all eyes turning to us. Everyone, Darius says, his voice steady and sure. This is Nate, my partner. He's been wanting to meet all of you for a while now. The director, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a firm handshake, stands first. Welcome, Nate. We've heard a lot about you. All good things, I hope. Darius doesn't shut up about you, one of the younger coaches says with a grin. We were starting to think you were imaginary. Definitely real, I confirm, and everyone laughs. The meeting proceeds normally after that. They discuss schedules and funding and upcoming events. I sit beside Darius, his hand occasionally finding mine under the table, and watch him in his element. He's respected here, valued. His ideas are listened to, his opinions sought. It makes my chest swell with pride. After the meeting, people introduce themselves properly. Marcus, Darius's best friend who I've met several times, gives me a knowing smile. Told you they'd love him, he says to Darius. Other coaches ask about my work, my interests, how we met. I tell the sanitized version, roommates who became more, and watch them nod with understanding and acceptance. No one seems bothered. No one makes it weird. By the time we leave, I'm floating. That was amazing, I say in the car. Darius grins. Told you, they're good people. They love you. You can tell. And they liked you. Which makes sense because you're incredibly likable. The easy acceptance from his work family feels like another door opening, another part of Darius's life that I'm now welcomed into. We're building something real, something lasting, something that includes both our worlds. 2 weeks later, I start my new job. It's overwhelming and exciting and exactly what I've been working toward. The team at Morrison Creative is talented and supportive, and the projects they're working on make my fingers itch to contribute. Darius adjusts his schedule to have dinner ready when I get home those first exhausting weeks. I stumble through the door at 7, brain fried from learning new systems and meeting new people, and he's there with food and understanding and exactly the right amount of quiet support. One night, about a month into the new job, I come home to find the apartment dark. My heart jumps with worry until I see the candles. Darius has set up dinner on our tiny balcony. The table is covered with a cloth I've never seen, set with our nicest dishes. Candles flicker in the evening breeze and soft music plays from his phone. What's all this? I ask. He pulls out a chair for me, celebrating. You made it through your first month at the new job. That deserves recognition. You didn't have to do all this. I wanted to. You've been working so hard, coming home exhausted every night. Wanted to do something special. Tears prick my eyes. I love you so much. I love you too. Now sit. Food's getting cold. We eat under the stars, talking about everything and nothing. He asks about my projects, my coworkers, what I'm learning. I ask about his kids, his upcoming tournament, his plans for a summer program. We've become experts at this, at making space for each other's lives while building our shared one. Over dessert, Darius gets quiet. I need to ask you something. Okay. We've been talking about moving when the lease is up, finding a bigger place together. He pauses. What if instead of renting, we bought something? My fork freezes halfway to my mouth. Bought? Like a house or a condo? Something that's ours, an investment in our future together. He reaches across the table for my hand. I know it's a big step, but I'm thinking long-term, Nate. I'm thinking this is it for me. You're it for me, and I want to build something permanent together. The confession takes my breath. You want to buy a house with me. I want to build a life with you. A real permanent no-going-back life. And owning a place together feels like a good way to start. We've been together less than a year, I know. And if you think it's too soon, we can wait. But I've never been more sure of anything than I am about us. I think about it. About waking up in a place we chose together, painted together, made our own. About building equity instead of paying someone else's mortgage. About the statement it makes, the commitment it represents. Okay, I say. Okay, we'll wait, or okay, we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it. Let's buy a house together. His smile could light the entire city. Yeah. I mean, it's terrifying and probably crazy, but yeah, let's do it. He comes around the table and pulls me up, kissing me breathless under the stars. When we break apart, we're both grinning like idiots. We're really doing this, he says. We're really doing this. The house hunting process is simultaneously exhausting and exhilarating. We spend weekends touring properties, arguing good-naturedly about neighborhoods and layouts, and whether we really need a second bathroom. Darius wants a yard for potential future cookouts. I want good, natural light for a home office. After 2 months of searching, we find it. A small 2-bedroom house in the Sunset District with hardwood floors, a renovated kitchen, and a backyard that Darius immediately starts planning how to landscape. The price is at the top of our budget, but it's perfect. We make an offer, it's accepted. Suddenly we're navigating inspections and appraisals and more paperwork than I've ever seen. Darius handles the financial logistics with surprising skill, while I focus on imagining how we'll decorate each room. The night before closing, we're both too nervous to sleep. We lie in bed talking about paint colors and furniture arrangements and what it's going to feel like to have keys to our own house. I can't believe we're doing this, I say. A year ago, I was applying for a room in your apartment. Now we're buying a house together. Best tenant I ever had, Darius says, pulling me closer, even if you were terrible at following the no falling for your roommate rule. There was a rule about that? Should have been. Would have saved me weeks of confusion. I poke his ribs. You weren't the only one confused. I spent months trying not to stare at you. I know. I could feel you staring, and you liked it. And he grins. Yeah, I did. Still do. We make love slowly, savoring it, knowing it's one of the last times in this apartment. Tomorrow we'll be homeowners. Tomorrow everything changes again. Closing day is a blur of signatures and wire transfers and official-looking documents. By the time we walk out with keys in hand, I'm exhausted and exhilarated in equal measure. Darius drives us straight to the house. Our house. We stand on the sidewalk looking at it. This symbol of our commitment, this investment in our shared future. Ready? He asks. More than ready. We walk up to the front door together. Darius unlocks it and pushes it open, then surprises me by sweeping me off my feet. What are you doing? Carrying you over the threshold. Isn't that a thing? That's for married people. He pauses, and something flickers in his eyes. Maybe someday, he says quietly, and carries me inside. The house is empty, and echoing, and perfect. We walk through room by room, talking about what goes where, making plans. The second bedroom will be my office. The backyard needs new grass. The kitchen is beautiful. The master bedroom has amazing light. When we've seen everything, we end up back in the living room, sitting on the floor because we have no furniture yet. I can't believe this is ours, I say. We did this, together. He pulls me close, built something real. I'm so happy I could cry. He kisses my temple. Me too. We spend the next month moving in, a process made easier by the fact that we don't own much furniture. Darius's bed becomes our bed. My desk goes in the office. We shop for a couch together, arguing cheerfully about fabric and color until we find one we both love. His parents come to visit, bringing a housewarming gift and takeout. They walk through with the pride of people seeing their son achieve something significant. His mom hugs me tight before they leave and whispers, "Thank you for making him so happy." My own parents visit a week later. They've known about Darius for months, have been cautiously supportive from afar. Seeing us in our home, seeing how we move around each other with easy familiarity, seems to cement something for them. You two have built something good here, my dad says, and coming from him, it means everything. Summer arrives with heat and possibility. Darius's basketball tournament is a huge success, and I attend every game, cheering from the stands. His kids know me now, wave when they see me, occasionally ask for design advice on their school projects. My job at Morrison Creative is everything I hoped. I'm working on campaigns for major clients, getting recognition for my ideas, building a reputation. When I come home stressed, Darius helps me decompress. When he comes home exhausted from dealing with teenage drama, I return the favor. We develop new rituals, Saturday morning farmers market runs, Sunday afternoon cooking experiments, weeknight dinners on the back patio when weather permits, lazy mornings in our bed, in our house, in our life together. One evening in late July, Darius comes home with a strange expression on his face. I'm in the kitchen prepping dinner when he walks in and just stands there looking at me. What? I ask. Do I have something on my face? No. I need to tell you something. My stomach clenches. Okay. He crosses the kitchen and takes my hands. I've been thinking about labels, about how I identify, about what to call myself. Okay, I say carefully. When we started dating, I didn't know what I was. Thought maybe I was bi, or maybe it was just you, or maybe I was gay and just didn't know it yet. He pauses. I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of thinking. Talk to other people who came out later in life. What did you figure out? I think I'm gay, not bi, just gay. I think I've been gay my whole life and just didn't let myself see it. The women I dated, I cared about them, but it was never right. Never felt the way it feels with you. And I think on some level I always knew that. I just couldn't admit it. The confession hangs between us. How do you feel about that? I ask, relieved, scared, excited, like I finally understand myself. He squeezes my hands. I wanted you to know, wanted to be honest about it. Thank you for telling me, for trusting me with this. You made it safe to figure out, made it okay to not have all the answers right away. He pulls me close. I love you for that. I love you too, all of you. However you identify. We hold each other in our kitchen in our house, and I feel the weight of this moment. Darius coming fully into himself, claiming his identity without hesitation. It's beautiful and profound, and I'm honored to witness it. That weekend, he changes his social media to reflect his identity. It's a small thing, updating a profile, but the messages of support that pour in make him smile for days. Marcus comments saying it's about damn time. His mom sends a heart emoji. Co-workers from the center send encouraging messages. I'm watching him become more himself every day, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. In September, Darius's birthday arrives. He insists he doesn't want anything big, just dinner with close friends and family. But I've been planning something for weeks. On the morning of his birthday, I wake him with breakfast in bed. While he eats, I give him my gift. It's a photo album I've been working on for months, filled with pictures from the past year. Our first photo together as a couple. Pictures from when we moved into the house. Candids from basketball games and dinner dates and lazy Sunday mornings. The last page has a photo of us from last week, standing in front of our house, his arm around my waist, both of us grinning. Under it I've written, "This is just the beginning." He's crying by the time he finishes looking through it. "This is perfect. You're perfect." I kiss him softly. "Happy birthday." That night, we host dinner at our house. Marcus comes, bringing his new girlfriend. Darius's parents drive up from Oakland. A few coaches from the center attend. My best friend flies in from Portland as a surprise. We crowd around our dining table that barely fits everyone, passing dishes and telling stories and laughing until our sides hurt, looking around at these people who love us, who support us, who've accepted our relationship without question. I feel overwhelmed with gratitude. A year ago, I was alone and hurting from a bad breakup. Now I'm surrounded by family, biological and chosen, celebrating the man I love. After dinner, when everyone's moved to the living room with drinks and dessert, Darius pulls me aside into our bedroom. "Thank you," he says, "for all of this, for making today perfect. You deserve it, deserve to be celebrated." He cups my face in his hands. "I need to tell you something. Is it another identity revelation? Because I'm prepared for whatever." He laughs. "No. He takes a breath. "I want to marry you." My heart stops. "What? Not now, not yet, but someday, when we're ready. I want to marry you, Nate. Want to stand up in front of everyone we love and promise to be yours forever." Tears blur my vision. "I want that too." "Yeah? Yeah. Someday. When we're ready." He kisses me deep and thorough, and I taste promise in it. When we rejoin the party, Marcus takes one look at our faces and grins knowingly. The fall passes in a blur of work and basketball season and settling into our life together. We host Thanksgiving for the first time, a chaotic affair with both our families and too much food. Darius's mom teaches me her sweet potato recipe. My dad and Darius talk sports for hours. Christmas brings more firsts. We buy a tree together, decorate it with ornaments we pick out as a couple. We exchange gifts on Christmas morning, both of us trying not to cry. We video call both our families, showing them the house all decorated, letting them see how happy we are. On New Year's Eve, we stay home, just the two of us, champagne and takeout, and a countdown we watch from our couch. When midnight strikes, Darius pulls me close and kisses me breathless. "Here's to the next year," he says, "and all the years after that. To forever, I agree." January brings new challenges. The community center where Darius works faces budget cuts. There's talk of reducing staff, cutting programs. Darius comes home stressed every night, worried about his kids, worried about his job. I do what I can to support him, make sure he eats, hold him when he needs it, listen when he wants to talk, remind him that whatever happens, we'll figure it out together. In February, the cuts are announced. Darius's position is safe, but 3 other coaches are let go. The after-school program he's poured his heart into is reduced to 3 days a week instead of 5. He's devastated. "Those kids need somewhere to go," he says one night, pacing our living room. "Somewhere safe. The center was that place for them, and now half the programming is gone." "What can we do?" I ask. "I don't know." He stops pacing, runs a hand over his head. "I've been thinking. Maybe we could fundraise. Get local businesses to sponsor programs, find grants. We could do that. We could absolutely do that." His eyes meet mine. "You'd help." "Of course I'd help. This matters to you. That makes it matter to me." We spend the next months organizing. I use my design skills to create promotional materials. Darius reaches out to businesses and writes grant applications. Marcus helps coordinate. We host a fundraiser at a local restaurant, invite everyone we know, and are overwhelmed by the support. By May, we've raised enough to fund the after-school program for another year. The center throws a celebration, and watching Darius accept thanks from the director, from the parents, from the kids whose lives he's changing, makes my chest swell with pride. Later that night, lying in bed, he turns to me with tears in his eyes. "Thank you," he says, "for everything, for believing in this, for helping me fight for it. Always, I promise. Whatever you need, I'm here." That summer marks a year since we bought the house. We host a backyard barbecue to celebrate, inviting everyone who's become important to us over the past 18 months. The yard is full of laughter and music and the smell of grilled food. I'm manning the grill when Darius's mom finds me. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" "Of course." I hand the spatula to Marcus and follow her to a quieter corner of the yard. "I wanted to thank you," she says, "for loving my son, for helping him become who he's meant to be. I didn't do that. He did that himself." She shakes her head. "He told me once that you made it safe for him to figure himself out, that you never pushed, never demanded, just loved him while he found his way. That's a gift. He's given me just as much." She hugs me tight. "You're family, Nate. I want you to know that. You're my son too now." I have to excuse myself to the bathroom after that, overwhelmed with emotion. When I come out, Darius is waiting. "You okay?" he asks. "Your mom just told me I'm family." His expression softens. "You are. You've been family for a while now." That evening, after everyone's gone home and we're cleaning up together, Darius keeps looking at me with an expression I can't quite read. "What?" I finally ask. "Just thinking." "About?" "How lucky I am. How different my life could have been if I'd been too scared to send that text. The text that started everything. I'm not gay, but I haven't stopped thinking about you since that night. I still remember the terror of hitting send," he says. the certainty that you'd reject me, that I'd ruined everything. I'm glad you were brave. He pulls me close, right there in our kitchen surrounded by dirty dishes and leftover food. I'm glad you answered. Glad you gave me a chance to figure myself out. Glad you loved me through all of it. I kiss him softly. Always will. Fall arrives with change. Darius gets promoted to program director at the center. I get offered a senior designer position at my firm. We're both growing in our careers, supporting each other through the challenges and celebrating the victories. One October evening, Darius asked me to dress nice. Won't tell me where we're going, just insists it's important. He takes me to the restaurant where we had our first real date as a couple, and I start to suspect something's happening. Over dinner, he's nervous. I can see it in the way he keeps fidgeting with his napkin, the way he barely touches his food. When dessert arrives, he reaches across the table for my hand. Nate, I've been thinking about what I said on my birthday, about wanting to marry you someday. My heart starts racing. I know we said when we're ready. But the thing is, I don't think I'm ever going to feel more ready than I do right now, because every day with you feels like the best day of my life, and I want to make this official, want to promise you forever in every way possible. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small box, opens it to reveal a simple silver band. I'm not doing this with one knee in a fancy restaurant, he says, with a small smile. That's not us, but I am asking you, here in the place where we first chose each other as more than just roommates or friends, if you'll marry me. Tears stream down my face. Yes. God, yes. He slips the ring on my finger, and even though we're in the middle of a crowded restaurant, he comes around the table and kisses me deep and thorough. People around us clap and cheer. When we pull apart, we're both crying and laughing and grinning like idiots. You're going to be my husband, he says, wonder in his voice. You're going to be mine. We skip dessert and go straight home, celebrating in the privacy of our bedroom. Later, lying tangled together, I hold up my hand to admire the ring. When did you get this? I ask. Months ago. Been carrying it around waiting for the right moment. This was perfect. He kisses my shoulder. You're perfect. We tell our families the next day. Both sets of parents are thrilled. Marcus pretends to be surprised even though Darius asked his advice on the ring. My best friend screams so loud on the phone I have to hold it away from my ear. We start planning immediately. Neither of us wants anything huge, just our closest people in a celebration of love and commitment. We decide on a spring wedding in our backyard, intimate and personal. The months leading up to the wedding are a whirlwind. We pick flowers and write vows and argue good-naturedly about whether to hire a DJ or make a playlist. Darius's mom helps plan the menu. My mom handles the flowers. Marcus is best man. My friend from Portland is my person of honor. One evening in February, while we're addressing invitations, Darius sets down his pen and looks at me. Can you believe we're actually doing this? Getting married? Yeah. 2 years ago, I thought I was straight. Now, I'm marrying a man. My man. And I've never been more certain of anything. No regrets? He reaches across the table for my hand. Not a single one. You changed my life, Nate. Made me brave enough to be myself. You did that. I just loved you while you figured it out. That's everything, though. That's what made it possible. The wedding day arrives with perfect spring weather. Our backyard has been transformed with lights and flowers and rows of chairs, facing a simple arch where we'll exchange vows. 50 people we love fill the space, all of them here to celebrate us. I stand at the front with my person of honor, watching Darius walk down the aisle on his mother's arm. He's wearing a perfectly tailored suit, and when his eyes meet mine, he's crying and smiling and so beautiful it makes my chest ache. The ceremony is simple and perfect. We exchange vows we wrote ourselves. I promise to love him through every evolution, every discovery, every challenge. He promises to choose me every day, to be brave enough to be vulnerable, to build a life together that's exactly what we both need. When we're pronounced married and told to kiss, the cheer that goes up makes us both laugh through our tears. We walk back down the aisle together, hand in hand, husbands now instead of boyfriends. The reception is everything we wanted. Good food, better company, dancing under string lights in our backyard. Darius's basketball kids crash the party, and we let them because their joy is infectious. Both our dads give speeches that make everyone cry. Marcus tells embarrassing stories that make everyone laugh. As the evening winds down and guests start to leave, Darius and I find ourselves alone on our back patio. The lights are still glowing. Music still plays softly. But it's just us, married now, the rest of our lives stretching ahead. I can't believe you're my husband, I say. He pulls me close, swaying gently even though the song playing isn't really a slow dance. Get used to it. You're stuck with me now. Best thing I've ever been stuck with. We dance in our backyard under the stars, and I think about everything that brought us here. A roommate ad. A 2 a.m. text message. A man brave enough to question everything he thought he knew. A love strong enough to survive confusion and fear. And the hard work of figuring out who you really are. I love you, Darius says against my ear. More than I knew it was possible to love someone. I love you too. Forever, forever, he agrees. And there, in the home we bought together, surrounded by the life we built, I know with absolute certainty that this is just the beginning. We have years ahead of us. Years of morning coffee and basketball games and quiet evenings. Years of supporting each other's dreams and weathering whatever storms come. Years of growing together instead of apart. Darius taught me that labels matter less than love. That sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you don't have all the answers. That it's okay to be confused or scared as long as you're honest about it. And I taught him that love is patient, that becoming yourself is a journey, not a destination, that the right person will hold your hand through the scary parts and celebrate every step forward. Together, we learned that home isn't a place, it's a person. It's choosing each other every single day. It's building something real from confusion and courage in a 2 a.m. text that changed everything. 5 years after that text, we're still choosing each other, still building our life together, still learning and growing and loving each other more deeply every day. Darius runs the youth programs at the community center, changing lives one kid at a time. I'm creative director at Morrison Creative, leading campaigns and mentoring younger designers. We've traveled together, bought a cabin in Tahoe together, talked about maybe adopting kids together someday. But more than any of that, we've built a partnership based on honesty and trust, and the kind of love that only gets stronger with time. On quiet Sunday mornings, we still have our ritual. Lazy hours in bed, making love slowly, talking about everything and nothing. And sometimes, Darius will trace the ring on my finger and say, "Remember when I sent you that text?" And I'll smile and pull him closer and say, "Best text message I ever received," because it was. That confused, vulnerable, brave confession at 2 a.m. opened the door to everything we've become. To the life we built, to the love that changed us both. I'm not gay, but I haven't stopped thinking about you since that night. He was wrong about the first part. Turns out he was very much gay. But he was right about the second part. He hasn't stopped thinking about me since that night, and I haven't stopped thinking about him either. That's what love is. It's thinking about someone constantly. It's choosing them every day. It's being brave enough to admit when you're confused and trusting them to love you through it. It's building a life together, one decision at a time. We didn't follow the traditional path. Darius didn't have his sexuality figured out in his teens. I didn't meet my person through a dating app or a meet cute. We found each other through a roommate ad and fell in love despite all the reasons it shouldn't have worked. But it did work. It works because we make it work, because we communicate and compromise and never stop choosing each other, because we learned that love is more than just feeling something. It's doing the work, it's showing up, it's being brave even when you're terrified. That 2 a.m. text message was the beginning of everything. The beginning of Darius's journey to understanding himself, the beginning of our relationship, the beginning of the beautiful, complicated, perfect life we've built together. And every single day, I'm grateful he was brave enough to hit send.